Hello and welcome back. We are in a creative mode world where we are attempting to build a 10K science factory. The overall design principle is that each science is self-contained. In fact, each modular build, if we can make it, is self-contained. We bring in ore and crude oil and any other absolutely raw ingredients necessary by train. Those are then processed locally to produce science packs and later on rocket parts and rocket launches. Then the resulting research potions are carried off to labs. So that's the plan. I have done 10K builds for red and green science. Then I've done a 2.5K build for blue science, which can be replicated 4 times. Now we're going to start building the purple science, production science. Now, just to recap, production science requires 2 inputs. Nope, that's not the one. Let's try again. Right. It requires electric furnaces and electric engines. Electric engines are made from engines and green circuits. Engines are made from steel, wherever that's hiding. There's no icon for steel. Steel, pipes and gears. Furnaces are made from steel, bricks, and red circuits. Then red circuits obviously require green circuits as input. Okay, now when I mathed this out using the Duma planner, I don't know how you actually say that, the build was too big to build as a single build. However, there were a bunch of numbers in there which were either exactly or suspiciously close, dividing by 3. So, whereas the previous build we split into 4, this build we're going to split into 3. So, each self-contained build is going to produce 3,333 rounded up science packs a minute. Okay, now what I'd like to do is illustrate what our building options are. So let's imagine we had a build with 4 potion machines in the middle, an engine feeding in this side, and a furnace machine feeding in that side. Okay. And we're going to do what we did before and work out if this is a viable build. Okay. What we're looking at is whether we can use this final row to feed across the products or not. Now, obviously we'd have everything beaconed with speed beacons, which will make everything faster, but we can pretty much ignore that for the sake of this because we're interested in the ratios of the numbers of machines, not the total numbers. Okay, so let's do that. So we are down by an entire engine machine and by half of a furnace machine. Okay, so that means for every we would need, oh sorry, we're up by half a furnace machine. Okay. So if we, yeah, let's grab this. Okay, and do this again. Right, so that's very slightly under for furnace machines. And we could improve this by putting in a speed module. Let's see if that, yeah, so now we have enough. So by putting 1 speed module into the furnace machine, this lets us get our our build working. However, this is a non-starter, right? So there is no way to get enough electric engines into this build. Now, if we get rid of the electric engine, so we'd be looking at a 5-wide build. And here we have a slight excessive of these machines. So I think we can potentially have a build where we right, let's do this. Okay, so we have okay, so this looks possible. Yeah, so it looks possible to be able to work out a build here which has some number of these furnaces feeding into 5s of these. Now obviously we'd have 2 then roboports. So the roboports would go in the middle here. Okay, so that means we're looking at a build for this which has all the furnaces to one side. That actually makes a more interesting build, because the first way I was looking at it, we would need a separate build for the engines and a separate build for the furnaces, and it was starting to look really ugly. But if we can do it this way, that's good. Okay, so how many potion machines do we need? And my cheat sheet says 35, which if we are splitting that across 5 rows, 3 on one side, 2 on the other, 5 goes into 35 is at 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Yeah. So 7 potion machines wide. So let's get one of these, beacon it up, and see what that looks like. And I auto-trashed some stuff. Right, I'm gonna need 2 stacks of those. I only need 1 stack of those. I only need 1 stack of those, and 1 stack of, whoops, 1 stack of those. That's it. Don't know if I need any green circuits, but we'll keep those for now. Okay. So in fact, we've got a template for this, haven't we, in here? So let's keep the template. Okay. So I want this to be production science. You may have noticed that I haven't done military. I don't know if I'm going to do military. We'll decide later. Okay, so let's power this up so that we can set the requests. That's it. Small requests. Let's take a blueprint of this. Right, and then this blueprint here, I want to give a proper icon. There we go. And that is going to go into our book. Okay. I started making this book a bit late in the game, but we'll survive. Okay. So is this the one? Is this the one? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so what does 7 of these side by side look like? Okay, that looks really small. So remember this is 1/3 of the total. Okay. Then we would have 2 rows of them down here. Okay. We may decide that we want to change this build around to be, well, deeper, for want of a better word, and wider. The other option is, although we're looking at doing 1/3 builds for the engines and for the for the engines and for the furnaces, perhaps we could do a single build for the potions. Perhaps that's an option. So perhaps I could have trains going through the other areas which fill up 3 sections of wagons and then come into a single area here to make the potions. I don't know, we'll have a look. This may not be an option because we may not be able to squeeze in the furnace build, but let's go with that for now. Okay. So my cheat sheet says we need 6 electric furnaces to build the furnaces to keep this all going. Let's grub that up. Sorry for the beeps. People love me, or at least want to talk to me. Okay, so let's put down a build for furnaces. Put that and replace this with electric furnace. Okay. Then this is going to be the case where we have a gap in the build. There we are. Okay, so power it up. We'll have an input and an output, and let's check that we're okay for volumes of stuff, because we may not be. Okay. So this is 500 of these too. We may need separate chests for the inputs. Right. Let's find out. Right, so that's 1,000 steel and 1,000 bricks. I've got a feeling this is going to break our stack inserter. Ooh, 0.6. Yeah. So we need at the very least 2 inputs. Ideally 3, I think. Yeah. Okay. So that powers up all the inserters because we've got this gap to play with. Let's set this. Okay, so let's have the one on the left doing steel. The one in the middle can do red circuits. The one on the far side can do bricks. Okay, let's blueprint this. There we go. And this is electric furnaces. And we'll put that in our book. Not that we probably need it for anything else, but I don't want to accidentally lose it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get the parts book. There we are. So we need 6 of these. So 1, 2, is this it? Three. Okay, this power pole up here is not needed. That one there. Anyway, this can, whoops. Right, edit that out. Has that edited it in the book? 1, 2, try again. Right, so we don't want one there. We want one there. Great. So that is 6. Okay. Let's take this schematic away because it's kind of redundant now. And if we imagine this was all running, are we in credit? No, this reckons we're not. This reckons we are under. Okay, let's try again. One row of these, and we are under by half. Okay, so this is clearly not going to work. I have been reading the wrong numbers, so we needed 18 of these, not 6. So we can't do this build. This build is not going to work. So we're going to have to train in... Yeah, we're going to have to train in these furnaces. There's no alternative to it. Okay, so we are looking at separate furnace build, separate engine build, separate potion build. All right, well, since we're doing that, this back can go away. And this, I think, this is quite short. However, the builds so far needed 7,000 and something items of each item. This needs 3,000 and something. So we are looking at 4 long trains rather than 8 long trains, I think. Right, let's do a speed of this. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't even need one full stack inserter of input for this entire build. Okay, so let's just check we are actually doing the right size. Yeah, this is 3360, and I need 3333.333333. So this build's fine. It's just it's looking quite asymmetric. Okay, so we have 35 in total. If we spread it across 6 rows, obviously 35 isn't even. If we spread it across 2 rows, what would happen? Okay, so we'd have to relocate 7. So we could put 2, 4, 6, 7. The thing is, there's going to be a minimum number of roboports necessary just to support recharging of the bots. And the minimum number of roboports gives you a minimum width for the build. So there's only so much you can squeeze it. but I really don't want something which is asymmetrical like this. Okay, let's cut the back off. Okay. Yep, that's the right one. Okay, so if we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we could put an 8th to make the build symmetrical. Or I could pick up this back row and shift it across by 2 squares, which I think is what I'm going to do instead. Or do I want the extra... I think I might want the extra capacity in hand, because we're splitting across multiple builds, and I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so what needs to come in here? We are going to be taking out potions. We are going to be bringing in okay, so if we had these essentially in the same spot here. Okay, so we'll do 4 carriages because while it's overkill, the other builds are going to have width to them, and requiring all the resource to come to the middle is going to be a pain for bot charging. Okay. So that. Okay, and these are going to be probably... Let's make them 1-for-1 trains for now. We can change that to 2-4 trains later if we want. The benefit of using 2-4 trains is that everything stays in the same stride with the 2-8-2s later. Whereas if you do 1-for-1s, they get out of stride with the 2-8-2s. Because a carriage is 6 tiles long, plus 1 for the gap. And all rail is arranged around a grid of 2 tiles, so you have to go across 2 locomotives of carriages until you hit the stride again. So yeah, I'm going to make these into... Whoop. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to make these into 2-4 trains. Right, let's get a blueprint of the whole of the middle of this. Pull it up. Okay, that's just to help me locate the whole blueprint. That's it. Great, so that's our backbone. We want to have a signal after this. Okay, then roboports, and I actually don't know how many we're going to need. Okay, so we need a minimum of 2 each side. I'm trying to get this roughly centered. Yeah, that will do. So we need a minimum of 2 each side to cover the build. But I don't know if that's enough. Okay, so pick up the bottom build. And delete it. Then put it back down. There we go. Then I've got a feeling the top build is a carbon copy of the bottom one. If it isn't, it is now. Okay, and let's put that one down there. Okay. So that's our research build. This is going to churn away and produce 3.333K. All right, we've got some Logibots. Okay. So I just want to check if we have sufficient Roboports here. And the way to do that is to actually fire this up using creative mode stuff. But that's going to wait till next time because we are just about out of time. So next time we are going to, let's take all this off. Next time we are going to fire this up using creative mode chests. And yeah, see if it actually works. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.